I was approached by a man who I didn't know. I was a lawyer at the time, just out of law school. Approached by a man who said that he and some of his friends wanted to set up a private club, gays only, and would I act for them? And I don't know to this day if he knew that I was a lesbian. I think he may have come to me because I was one of the few women lawyers around. So I went to my boss, who knew the then chief of police, and we discussed it, and we decided that the best way to find out what the police would do would be to go and meet with the chief of police and tell him what the intentions were. And we sat down and talked to him and said, this is what our clients want to do. They want it to be a private bar. They want to be able to exclude because they did not feel safe in any open environment. And so we put this to Chief Toll, who sat there, thought about it, and said, no, sounds good, makes sense. Tell them to set up if they obey the law and there's no kids there. We're good with it. So we slapped in an application for a private club, and it was declared to be a homosexual club. Club 654 opened up. I remember being invited to the official opening on a Sunday afternoon, and I don't think I've ever seen so many older gay men in one place. Profs that I had seen at university, administrators from university, doctors, lawyers. It was quite successful. They gave a sense of place to be. And initially they gave a safe place to be. Because I largely grew up gay, I wasn't friends with a lot of people who did marry and then found themselves coming out later, but those I do know, a lot of fathers, again, dealing with the whole question of even access to their children. They were written off as perverts and criminals. That wasn't in every situation. It depended entirely one family to another family. But there were many cases like that I remember, and I remember being totally appalled. Many a lesbian stayed in a lousy marriage with the certainty that if she were to leave and be out as a lesbian, she would lose custody of her children. Being a lesbian only became an issue for me when I became a judge. And in each event, I certainly told my Chief Justice immediately that I was a lesbian. And it was important to do that because if it was known, then I couldn't be blackmailed. And it was important to me, I think, that the Supreme Court of Canada judges knew that gays and lesbians were not just people out there, but they were people within the judiciary. When I look back on everything that happened, I didn't think anything was great or anything was wonderful. It was just something whose time had come, and we did it. And I think everybody was curious to see how this would work. And it worked, and I didn't feel any great sense of joy or accomplishment. Afterwards, in hindsight, people said, oh, look what you did. And I thought, you know, you're right.